How you doing, everybody? This is
Hey,
Dee Pharoah,
I'm Key, also known as Savage,
and we are
RushingIn Podcast.
RushingIn Podcast. We here.
Here.
It's feel good to be back. It's feel good to be back. We've been on a little, hiatus, trying to get everything going. You know what I mean? We've been, advertising that to an extent, trying to get to a place where it's not no interruptions and we can really focus on doing this more and more and more.
Yes.
How you feeling, Key?
Feeling good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man.
New
Brand new
year.
year. Brand new
20,
year. Yeah.
2026.
Can't wait to see what 26 got to offer. I feel like 2025 was pretty good. How you?
Feels pretty good, but it's like when the words say that the time is moving fast, I just feel like the year comes in so quickly. So it's It's
Yeah.
real. It's real. So
Yeah, I
we're in a
agree.
hole. We don't know what's coming. So hey, we got to get up and get ready. First thing we need to do is put God first.
Amen.
And that's one thing. And the second thing we need to do is um focus on some of our goals that we got for the year, you
I
know?
know that's right. I know that's right. We sitting back, just watching how the New Year's already done started off. Trump ready to, do what he do.
Yep.
He say he after the drugs, but everybody knows over the oil.
I know, right? So yeah.
No,
So
man.
hey, like I said, it's a new year. We don't know what to expect. So is we definitely gotta stay focused. So
Yeah, all these
yes.
people about to lose their mind. I just hope everything, go good for us. Definitely with prices. We need the prices of some of this food to go down.
You ain't lying because it don't make sense.
It don't.
It's ridiculous. You come in there with what, $200-300 and get 2 bags on the way out the door. It don't make no sense.
It don't. It don't. I hope the New Year's will be to bring these prices down.
And or bring our income up, give us some
One of
more
the two.
cash flow, you know?
But believe it or not, Virginia just had a cost of living rate, not a cost of living, but the minimum wage. They had another increase.
Oh,
I think
really?
they done had 4 already in Carolina. I think they still got their $7.50.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
believe so.
Mm.
Don't quote me on it, but I believe so.
Yeah,
I know
but
they ain't had that one.
I
But
guess every little bit help.
yeah, and
So
so I think they done had 3 within the last 2 or 3 years.
okay.
So Virginia
Virginia
trying to
doing the
do a little
thing.
something.
Yeah, well,
Although the food going up too still, but
what they call North Carolina, the Rip Van Winkle State. Everything is slow in this area. We do everything. We always the last ones to make some kind of movement. So
it seems
yeah,
like it. I love the country though. I can't knock it.
yes, yeah, you right about that. Cause
Uh,
me and the city don't mix. Everything is too fast,
Too fast,
too
too
fast.
fast. But I have you made a New Year resolution?
Mm-mm.
Uh,
No, I have not. Um,
no,
yeah, really. Okay, so
I think with mine, I want to just do more of this.
oh yeah, definitely
I
that.
definitely want to do more of this, and hopefully, everything flow in the predicament that people keep rushing in, and we'll grow bigger, bigger, and what I mean, get this information that we need to get to y'all.
Yeah. So I'm definitely agreeing with that. But I know one thing, the question is when it comes to making those New Year revolutions that we never seem to complete. So
Hmm.
I'm not even gonna make one. So um, why do we believe that the calendar date can fix something that we refuse to face all year round?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we always talking about, okay, I'm gonna set this date. I'm gonna exercise, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Eat
save
healthy.
money, eat healthy. All these
Yeah.
things that we say we're gonna do, but and we put a
Hmm.
date for it, and we
Hmm.
reality is most time that date gets skipped.
Hmm.
So how do we change that?
Hmm.
So how do we change that? Don't make those New Year goals,
Resolutions and the
resolutions, or
goals.
anything. Don't make them. So yeah.
I know some people say try to make it more short term than long term.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I never tried it, but it makes sense to, I mean? Like, even when it comes to like saving money, they say what you do is start with a short goal. To say like you might want to try to save
Mhm.
about $40 in a month, or, $10 in a week. Something that's achievable.
Yeah, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. So
Mhm.
we do know that. So you put your mind to anything, you can accomplish it. But the key is having the mindset to do it.
Mhm.
That's the key. So you got a mindset to make those changes,
So do you
then
got a mindset for it?
yeah.
That's the question. Do you have a mindset for it? So we're going to talk about some stuff.
Hmm.
Y'all ready for it? 'Cause y'all know how we do it in Rushing In, you know what I mean? Are y'all ready for it? This will be the first podcast, or first podcast for the year, first
Mhm.
episode for the year. And what we want to
26.
talk about, this gonna be a good one. Y'all listening, y'all ready for it? We want to talk about generational curses.
Yes, and how to break them.
Do y'all believe in universal curse? I mean,
Generational
generational curses.
curses.
Do y'all believe in it? Or do you think there's just something that, some people just make up?
So the question is, what is a generational curse? So
In,
what are they?
in your eyesight, what is one?
Mm-hmm. So let's jump into it. So one form of generational curses is repeating negative patterns across family lines. So something that's repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Something in your family that mama did it. Okay. So I see it also in my household. We're doing the same thing. So it's something
Mm-hmm.
that's repeated.
Example, some people might say, my dad, he drank, or my dad, he did drugs.
Mm.
So because he did it, I feel like I have to do it. You know, you got down the line where you might have abuse, in a family. The family might, you know, way back, I'm talking about great grandparents might have, had a lot of conflict and arguments and fussing, and then their kids arguing and fuss.
And it's passed on through family
Family.
lines. Those are different types of struggles that seem bigger than one person. So
Mm-hmm.
when you seem like it's bigger than one person, meaning that it's something that's repeated, it's constantly happening. It's passed down from line to line. So it's pretty much a struggle within the family lines.
Mm-hmm. And the question is, do you feel like they can be broken?
Hmm. And in some cases, some people are born into it, so it's like pain that exists before you were born. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, it's in the family line. It's something that's happening in the family. It's repeated. My mama did it, so this is what's gonna happen to us.
Hmm.
So it's something that's repeated. Different expectation, explanations could be okay. You could say it's a spiritual thing. So some
Mm-hmm.
people did lead as spiritual or faith based.
Mm-hmm.
You could say it's a psychological thing. So in other words, they believe that it's trauma passed down.
Mm-hmm.
You can say it's social, meaning that the environment, it's an environmental thing within the environmental system. In
Mm-hmm.
other words, social, meaning that somebody
Mm-hmm.
said it, so I believe it. It's
Mm-hmm.
for me. It happened to me, or it's in my family. So I'm gonna say, oh yeah,
Hmm.
that's a generational curse within our family, or within our system, and
Hmm.
behavior. So it can be a learned habit.
Yeah.
So
And that
these
social
are
one,
the
that's powerful because, you know, even when you're dealing with the Bible, it talks about life and death is in the power of the tongue.
hmm
So when somebody actually speaks something to you that might be good or bad, are you willing to accept that?
hmm, hmm. So in other words, it's different languages, but it is the same pain. So,
Exactly.
you say it's psychological, you say it's spiritual, you say
Hmm.
it's social, and you also may say that it is behavioral, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different languages, but the same pain.
Like when it was saying like the passed down one, I would call like even like reading certain characters in the Bible where it talks about Abraham when he went into Egypt, and he said when he went into Egypt, he was scared that the king was gonna take his wife and was gonna kill him. So he lied and said that his wife was his sister. And it was kind of weird that or strange that later on down the line in the history that his son, when he was born, he told the same exact
Lie.
lie just to protect himself, just like his dad.
But the reality was it was a sister.
Yeah, it was a lie and a truth.
Yeah,
It was
lying truth, 'cause
basically
she was
she
a
was
sister, but
it
he
was a
didn't.
half sister,
Yeah, but
but he was scared and not not realizing that regardless of God was gonna protect them. But
mhm.
to make a long story short, he wasn't even supposed to go into Egypt in the first place because God had told him to go to a certain land where they had built altars to build his altar or whatever. But he seen phantom in the land, so in other words, it didn't look like the way that he felt like it should look. So he went on into Egypt.
And that ain't even the first time that happened. So even with Joseph went into Egypt, which he
Yep.
escaped to Egypt, but he was told that he can go back
Hmm.
when Herod had passed, but he didn't. He went
Hmm.
he went to Nazareth. So, but that was prophecy being fulfilled.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And then we had also David. Well, everybody know about David and Urias and Bathsheba, where David was supposed to be in war, but instead of him going to war, he was on the rooftop admiring his kingdom or whatever, and he seen Uriah's wife
A little
taking
bit
a
too much.
shower
He
from
shouldn't have
afar.
seen. He should have
Exactly.
been in war. He ain't had no business up there no way.
Exactly. Because the king was supposed to be in that war with his people. But to make a long story short, through lust and, he pretty much fell into lust. And that was the same thing. Everybody knows Solomon, his son, did the same thing. So some people will say they generational curses because that was something that was passed down through their parents, in a sense.
So
Or
my
they were passed
question is, do
down.
you believe that generational curses are more spiritual or psychological or both?
I feel like it could be both.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
Because you got what you call, if you want to go into spiritual warfare, you got different ranks of demons or spirits or whatever you want to call them, which you got principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness world, spiritual wickedness in high places. So when you're dealing with principalities, they are actually spirits that are heading over certain nations and certain countries.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got some principalities that are actually assigned to certain people families. You know what I mean?
Cities.
Yep, city. So like if you go to a city and you might see a bunch of alcohol and stuff going on in this city, that's a principality that's ruling over that city. You know what I mean? Whether it be a lot of sexual type sins, not getting into none specific, but it might be you see a lot of this sexual sin going on in this state compared to less going on in another state. That principality is assigned to that state.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a curse. Yes. Can a person help that in that sense? Yeah. But when a lot of time with possessions, they can't help it.
Gotcha.
But when it comes to possessions, they say that certain spirits can take you over at their own will, which is scary. But I said all that to just say that certain spirits might be assigned to a certain family, and you got to be able to pray or, come up against, you might even have to fast to come against that certain spirit to break it. And when they assign a certain family, you got to be in prayer. You got to be, sometimes you might even have to fast to break these certain things. Because if you don't know that is a spiritual thing. You gonna try to battle it with it physical, and you just gonna continue to battle it, but you got to realize it's spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to fight it with spiritual weapons.
Okay, so when we talk about the spiritual aspect of it being a curse that's passed down from generation to generation. So let's talk about the details of the different types of curses. So I know one main one that we normally hear about is health issues. So
Hmm.
when you go to the doctor, most time the doctor say, do you have this in your family? Okay, is it history of diabetes? Is it history of strokes? Is it history of high blood pressure? So these are, things that
Hmm.
we hear that, our family has it. So just because we call it a generational curse, is it really a generational curse when you dealing with health issues in the family?
It could be yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no, because a lot of family, a lot of families are the way people are raised. You know what I mean? Even from a baby,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? They all might be raised or they learn stuff from their mom and their dad as far as how they eat. They might eat a certain way. Certain foods are born into, into their, how can I say, their paradigm, which a paradigm is your way of life all the way from your birth, where it gives off a certain energy, whether it be negative or whether it may be um positive.
Mhm.
But you might be taught to eat certain things, you know what I mean, because that's who your family is.
Well, if we get
So,
into, and this is something we talked about earlier, but if we get into high blood pressure, so let's talk about Black culture in itself. So
and that's what I'm getting at
it's
to an
proven
extent.
that Black culture does not digest salt. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's high blood pressure in Black culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's something in our body that does not allow us to filter out the salt well. So most of the time we have high blood pressures. But the reality is we eat food that gives us high blood pressure.
Amen.
So you talking that bacon and you talking, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
certain, pork and certain food that we put in our system that most likely doctors be like, "Don't eat this." And
Mm-hmm.
we gonna eat.
Yeah.
We gonna season it up
Amen.
and we gonna make it, right. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
most of the time that's something that's in the family. So you either got some type of health issue because of what we're ingesting in our
Mm-hmm.
body. But the reality is, your body, okay, well, I can't eat these foods. If I stay away from these foods, then I don't have to worry about this condition. But
Amen.
in some cases, you can't eat healthy and still,
Yeah. You see how
have
issues.
some issues.
Cause the thing is, like, when they even come to, like, is they telling us the truth?
Hmm.
Is we live in a lot of these curses, how can I say it?
Because we believe
Because we believe, or is we just uneducated?
uneducated. Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that, because some people say that, what I learned, that when it comes to salt, salt is actually electrolyte. Your body can't live without it.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned it, but what I learned, if you, a lot of time when we have high blood pressure, and this is something they don't teach us, is because when you look into it, we got low potassium.
Hmm.
And potassium is a buffer for salt. So, other words, if you take the right amount of potassium, what they say is like 4,700 milligrams, well, we don't get nowhere near that. You know what I mean? The average person don't. Our blood pressure is gonna be high.
Mm-hmm.
But if we eat the right amount of potassium and stuff, and it's crazy 'cause I think we all talked about that when my dad just recently had the episode he had, when it was saying that the first thing that the doctors give you is an IV full of salt.
Yeah.
They'll treat us for the being dehydrated and they have salt in there, because they know a lot of us is low on salt, and that gonna cause issues because it's an electrolyte. But generational curses. Being unlearned could be a
Yeah.
reason of being generational curse.
So it's pretty much, is it copy behavior we never unlearn? So far as the repeat.
Yep.
So, and that's what a curse is. Well, generational curse is something that's repeated. Okay. So if we learn how to eat healthy, we can resolve that problem. But if it's taught, so if you're not educated, you don't know, okay, so this is a problem because I'm not learned on it, then
It continues to be a problem.
continues to be a problem. So that's pretty much what it is. So it's something that's repeated.
And I noticed, like, when we were coming up with certain things that we went through, certain issues that we have, coming up, I was like, I don't want my kids to go through certain things.
Yes.
And we literally didn't follow behind that certain pattern or that certain, because we were willing to break it because we just couldn't see, having an excuse for to live like that.
Exactly.
See, you got some people that say, well, I'm going to be a druggie because my dad was a druggie. Or I'm going to be an alcoholic because my dad was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
that's addiction. So it's a repeated action learned from home. Okay, so to be,
and you can either accept it or don't accept it.
Okay, yeah.
You can have in your mindset, no, I'm not going to do drugs. I'm not going to drink.
And another one is anger issues. So you might be abusive. We talked about it earlier, abusive household. So that's something that is passed down. So, my father was abusive to my mother, so I'm gonna be abusive. So that's gonna be a repeated pattern of behavior that I take on to the next generation. So and it's passed on.
And you might say, oh, I'm not gonna put my kids through that.
Exactly.
Because I learned
infidelity. That's another one.
That's
So
another one.
passed down, something that's repeated,
And I learned some of the best ministers you can have out there. And when I mean minister, I mean to serve. You know what I mean?
Yes, minister means to serve. So
some of the best ministers I ever met out there or seen is children.
Why you say that?
And I say that for the simple fact, if it's something that you feel like your kids shouldn't see you do, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's real good. Yeah.
You shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? So that one thing that you might be doing behind closed doors, you don't want your kids to do, you need to think twice about what you are doing. Because if you don't want your kids to see you doing, you shouldn't be doing it, period.
Because the truth is, if they see it, they gon' you are the first teacher.
Yes.
You're the first teacher of your kids. When it comes to society, the first teaching starts at home.
Amen.
It starts at home. So it's not, you can't put it on the teachers, you can't put it on other family members, or it's home. It starts in the house.
And they say like the first, from 0 to 5, that's where the kids learn the most.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to actually get 0 to 3. And that's where you actually get the paradigm from. In other words, that's where they're going to get their energy, most of their teaching. That's why it's important for the parent to spend that time for that kid instead of just having them locked up in the room somewhere and the TV and everybody else teaching them.
And that's another conversation when it comes to generational curses. So it's emotional and mental health patterns. So this is unresolved trauma carried forward. Okay, so that could be depression, anxiety, fear, low self-esteem, emotional numbness. All this could be stuff that's passed down through trauma, unresolved trauma.
So what is trauma?
What is trauma? So
trauma could be, instead of getting whipped with that switch, you're getting whipped with a extension cord, or you know what I mean, blackening the eye with a fist,
yeah,
or the mom or dad grabbing whatever they can get closest to.
Yeah, and so and this is the key thing too. Trauma is something that doesn't have to be talked about, but it can be transferred.
Amen.
It don't have to be talked about, but it can be transferred. So in other words, actions, more so actions. So, it could just be transferred from generation to
Yeah.
generation. So all this stuff, depression, passed down because whatever you going through, whatever trauma caused that depression, whatever trauma caused that anxiety, whatever trauma caused that fear, and people don't really deal with fear because fear is something that, oh my God, fear is a killer. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, fear is a killer. Low self-esteem. How many people committed suicide because they had low self-esteem? Somebody said something to them, said something about them, and it just, what I'm saying, affected the family. And we can even go down into history when it came down to marriages. If you had somebody in your family, in a certain culture, you had somebody in your family that committed suicide or something like that, that was considered a conversation on, okay, we not messing with this family because it's in the bloodline.
That's crazy.
They believe it can be passed on.
That's crazy.
So when you deal with generational curses, it can be something deep, and that's why we ask the question: is this something that is spiritual or psychological? And you said it was
That's
both.
both. I feel like it's both.
That's a big
and it's
question.
crazy. Like the next question is this something that should be talked about more?
Yeah.
Because our whole goal is how can we help society?
So let's just
And
label
certain
this
stuff.
as episode 1 of concerning generational curses, because I don't even think we can get down to the full deepness of it in this one segment. So it's something that we're going to have to carry on. And not only that, if it's somebody out here that's hearing this and feel like they got more insight, please hit us up in the chat or try to connect with us, and we can go even deeper into this. So another part we can talk about, which we're going to continue a little while longer on this segment, financial and poverty cycle.
Yes.
So that's a big thing when it comes money struggles repeating itself across generations. My God. So poverty is especially in our culture.
And I do feel like what you just said right there ties in with what they call generational blessings. Because you got some people that just, when it comes to finances, when it comes to just being, receiving, they just completely blessed when you got some people that when it comes to poverty, it's passed down to family, to generation and generation. You got the same other people that got blessings on top of blessings after generation and generation.
And that's something, and I want to get in, I want to really deal with blessings when we start talking about this next topic. But when we're talking about poverty, so one thing that stands out is the fear of wealth. So that's one thing that stands out. So the fear of wealth. So, I feel like even in our culture, like it's other cultures seem to help each other out when it comes to building up building up the community, but for some reason there's this stamp on our Black culture as poverty. You know what I'm saying? Like even other cultures see us as, they say we're not intelligent enough, but we are. Because a lot of things wouldn't have got done if we wasn't as intelligent as are. But this stigma or this stamp has been passed down from generation to generation. And some can't even be helped when you got a government system that tears you down as a culture.
Yeah, that's great.
So you talking putting guns in your community, putting drugs in your community. So all these are like, and then buying into it, because you don't have to buy into it. You don't have to buy into it. You can say, no, we're not allowing this in our community. Like the other culture say, we're not doing this in this community. We're not having this type of education in our community. So it's about us saying, okay, no. So we talking about the fear of wealth. Because we as a community, and I've seen as a community, we can be powerful, and the world knows that we can be powerful.
So my question is that something that was implanted?
That's it. That's it. And it started slavery. It was implanted, definitely something that was rolled over. So now, if you want to say Black culture is a victim of generational curses, yes, sir. Did everybody have a hand in it? Yes, sir. We can definitely
Hmm.
say that. And it's passed on and passed on. And
Hmm.
man, so you got two types of, I can
And we
say,
can really get into that next month. You
mhm.
know, it's Black History Month too. So
Yes, yes, yes.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
So it's something to talk about. You know, it's victimized. I can say it even down to history. So you got two types of world. You got the ancient world
Mm-hmm.
and you got the new world.
Mm-hmm.
So the United States is considered what we call the new world. The
Mm-hmm.
ancient world would be like ancient Greece, ancient Rome, all these areas
Mm-hmm.
over there. They're considered the ancient world. And it seemed like Black culture has been wiped out of that world, but Black
Hmm.
culture was the forerunners in ancient Egypt, and all these
Ooh-wee.
Africa, all these Black culture was the forefront, the forerunner. But it's like Black America has
Hmm.
been pretty much mentally wiped out as of their place in society as kings, as queens, as trendsetters, as powerful
Hmm.
individual. Now we get a taste of it when they put us on TV, put us on the music and all that stuff.
Hmm.
That's only a piece
Hmm.
of what Black culture can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because reality is if you put Black culture in any arena, they're going to capitalize on it. They're going to make it into something.
Hmm.
And that's what we're known to do, make nothing into something because of that stigma, because of that beat down mentality, because of that I'm gonna put your face in the dirt and leave you there. I'm gonna take away every
Hmm.
resource that you have, every avenue that you have,
Hmm.
every breakthrough that you have. I'm gonna try my best to coach it. So we can say that our society is built upon curses that would change into blessings because we was able to pretty
Hmm.
much rip that bandage
Yep.
off and heal. So it's a
Hmm.
process of a consistency of healing, a process of
Hmm.
reviving, a process of rebuilding.
And
So
just like
Black
they,
culture is
yep.
known for that. So you can truly say when it comes down to generational beatdown or generational curses, we have came out of the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
We have came, but
And
but
you got to make up your mind. You're gonna be the head, not the tail.
be the head or not the tail. So we know that as a culture, we've been fighting.
Yep.
We still fighting to this day,
Yep.
but
Got to
we can really connect that with generational curses
curses.
being passed down from generation to generation. Like I said,
And like I
we are
said,
powerful people.
and we can really get into, like I said, next month when we can start talking about what effect do y'all feel like Willie Lynch had to do with passing down these generational curses. Everybody
Mm.
know who Willie Lynch was. You know what I mean? Far as separating the slaves because of certain characteristics
And we
they
do that
had.
today.
Yes.
We do
So
that
we're
today.
gonna we're gonna we're gonna definitely get into that on a whole nother
I
episode.
don't like you because you light. I don't like you because you dark.
Or your nose might be bigger than that person. You know
All
what I
this
mean?
stuff. So the things that we do to tear each other down.
And that caused millions of people to die. Like Hotel Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
But it took the same people, same tribe, and they just separated them because of this nose of the size of the nose. And they had a revolution for years, killed each other. Millions of people died behind that.
Yes. So I know this. This is a good one. Before we go, this is what I want to talk about next. And you was talking about blessings. So
Mm-hmm.
the marriage. Let's talk about the marriage cycle next.
Okay.
So repeat dysfunction in relationships. So you're dealing with divorce patterns, toxic partnerships, abuse, fear of commitment. Ooh, that's a big
Mm.
one. Fear of commitment. So what feels familiar often feels normal, even if it's unhealthy.
Ooh-wee. Powerful. Powerful. Because you got, even before the marriage,
Hmm.
which everybody should, if you can be in a relationship, it's best to be married. But even before the marriage, like what kind of examples you may be setting for your child, just watching, especially when it comes to the female. You know what I mean? Because you might have in a situation where, let's say if the mother's not married and she's dealing with all kinds of men that, that might be taking advantage of her, might be taking finances, might be beating her down.
Mm-hmm.
To a female that's being raised, it might seem like that's normal for. You know what I mean? Like even when it comes to a man that might be running around on the mother and stuff in a marriage.
So I know when I think about marriage, I always remember the word when it says, "He that find a wife findeth a good thing and
Mm-hmm.
obtain favor with the
With the
Lord."
Lord.
So when you marry, and that's a problem with our society. So the scripture also said that um in the last days they're gonna be marrying,
Mm-hmm.
divorcing, pretty much multiple relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I know with when, like I was saying before about what the scriptures say about the Bible, God already tell you that when you get married, you already get favor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a blessing in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to realize when you're dealing with marriage, you're dealing with a covenant.
Mm-hmm.
God don't play when it comes to covenant.
Mm-mm.
Okay? So he already tell you if you find a wife, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you finding a wife, it's a good thing and you obtain favor with God. So you already automatically, the household is blessed.
That's 2 blessings.
Yes.
It's 2 blessings right there.
Now,
Especially the favor with the Lord part.
then the issue comes in when picking a wife. So, that's where the issue comes in, because right now our females are a little bit bold with their exploitation when it comes to relationships. So in reality is it's not your responsibility to go out there and find that man, but these women are bold. They coming up in their face. They like, oh yeah, you mine, da da da. No, baby, it don't work like that. So the Bible tells he that findeth a wife. So it's a covenant, and it's something that man got to find you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so many scriptures that points to, but when we dealing with accepting, because the female is the one that says, okay,
Yeah. And
I accept you into, you are the one that I want
And
to
I was
marry.
going to say that too, because you got to watch these men that be running up to you and say, "Oh, the Lord
God
said
told
you
me,
about
you better watch that. God ain't told you nothing.
Hey,
That's how you.
hey, the man that told you, hey, you are my wife, but he still staying with his mama.
That's another thing. But parent, it's so much with that.
Yes.
That's a big topic. So,
The Lord told me.
and then next thing you did worst thing you done in your life,
Hey,
and then you
man.
divorce and you got kids involved, they hurt, that's trauma, all this stuff. So other words, when you picking out a marriage, or you dealing with, trying to find a wife, or when you trying to find a wife, you got to be selective in
Yes.
your picking. And the thing is a standard.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a standard. Females, you got to have a standard. Men, you got to set the standard.
That's right.
And some things is learned, so it's not like, it's like you have to. That's why the Bible tells the elderly to teach the young.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of teaching is lacking.
And when it comes to anybody that say that the Lord said, you know what I mean, and they coming in with you with the Lord told me, you better make sure the Lord has talked to you too.
Yeah,
you
better
know
be
what I mean?
like, who?
Because he going to talk to you first. Cause there's gonna be some confirmation somewhere.
Yeah, you better have the one where the wife dipped told her to say, whoever water your horse first, and then give you some water as well.
Mm-hmm.
That scripture,
it
had to be, he asked God for a sign, like, look, you got to give me a sign. This my woman, because I can't take anything, and we accepting anything right now, and that's the problem. So
you ain't lying.
You got to be careful in your selection when it comes to picking a wife. Now we getting in the days now where it's more than one relationship. And they're accepting this. You're accepting this, okay? So yeah, I'm married to this one, and then I got, because you can't marry with more than one person. You know what I'm saying? So then that wife agree, okay, we can have 3 other wives in this. Come on now, y'all. Just come on in. Let's stop.
I
Let's
have a
stop.
hard time dealing with one. I love her though, but I have one hard time dealing with one. You talking about 3, 4, 5 wives? Ain't no way. You gotta have God on your side for real.
So that get down to what feels familiar often feels normal, even if it's unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
even when it's unhealthy.
Yep.
So,
So the lady that's, you know what I mean, you in this relationship, and for some reason you know for a fact that it's not God sent,
mm,
and you break it off, you go off somewhere, you know what I mean, then a month or two later you come back, it's the same thing, then you go off again and
it's a
break it
repeated,
off, a
yeah.
repeated cycle. Hey,
And don't have kids watching,
yeah,
because y'all don't
it's
realize
not
when
for you.
these what's seen is learned. So it's like, okay, this is
Hmm.
what's happening in my household. This is how my father feel about women. This
Hmm.
is how my mother feel about men. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And that's something too, because even with you dealing with a kid where the parents are separated and you got a child, and the child is constantly hearing
Mm-hmm.
the negativity about the father. You should not have that child hearing that negativity about the father. I don't care if he is a deadbeat father. Let that
Hmm.
child do the interpretation.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? On their own. Don't tear down somebody. That's our problem with our culture. We tear down
Yep.
each other. And if we would have done it right the first time, we wouldn't be having any problems.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we get in these relationships and then we talk about the other partner, tear them down,
Hmm.
whether it be the mother, whether it be the father, and that child is absorbing this. And
Yes.
this idea is being carried with this child. It's embedded. It's in the culture. It's in the mindset. It's in the heart. It's conceived. It's a seed that's been conceived by
Yep.
you because of your
Yep.
mouth. You know what I'm
And the
saying?
crazy part about it, it gonna lead to other problems with the child, whether it be depressions, anxiety, trauma, and it's sad, stress,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and the child, if it's somebody that's intelligent, they gonna find out the truth anyway.
Yeah. But you got to do your part to make sure you don't carry that seed.
Yep.
You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, God has a criteria when it comes to marriage. Cause back in the day, I
Hmm.
mean, those relationships were chosen.
Yep. And it
You
was
know what I'm
fine.
saying? And it was
Fine.
binding. So, and I understand in some cases why certain things were done. Why they say wait until you get married for
Hmm.
intimacy and all that stuff is because we get a
Soul
soul
tie.
tying. That's something that's major. That's another topic within itself.
Yeah, we
You know
definitely
what I'm
gonna talk
saying?
about
That's
that. We
another
definitely gonna talk
topic.
about that on here. We definitely got to.
Yes, because soul tying is that's something that's crazy. But that's why as people, what's a curse? A curse is what the scripture say, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Some things is spoken, some
Mm-hmm.
things is um
Repeat it.
repeated, like we said, it's so many different ways that these things can
Come into light.
come into come into light, come into your history, come into your family, you
Mm.
know, it can be devastating,
Yep.
So
Yep.
especially with, like we said, marriage is a covenant.
Mm,
It's
mm,
a
mm, mm.
covenant. God, when he put something together, he said, what I put together, let no man
And
put
so,
asunder. So, we all make mistakes. None of us is perfect. Even with this conversation, everything that we talked about, can we change it around? Can we turn a curse into something, a blessing? Can we
yeah.
do it? Yes, we can do that. So that's something that we can do. It's something that we can do. We can
Yeah.
definitely change our perspective or how we think and how we move.
Yes.
So yes,
Mm,
yes,
mm, mm.
definitely.
So powerful. But definitely, like we said, we're gonna make this until we definitely got to come back, speak some more on these generation
Yes.
curses.
So again, so for instance, the truth is, if you can identify the pattern,
Mm-hmm.
it means you're not trapped. Subscribe.
Subscribe.